For Jews, Christians, and Muslims, Abraham is the father of their faith. But why? What did Abraham do that caused God to choose him as the model for all believers, across all times, across all nations? I believe it is because Abraham represents the very definition of righteousness. He recognized that everything in existence, every blessing, every breath, every relationship, comes from the one God who created and sustains all things. Abraham lived with this awareness in everything he did, and that awareness made him the blueprint for righteousness. Abraham loved his family deeply, but he faced a decision few people would ever dare to make. They worshiped false gods. They lived falsely. They rejected righteousness. So Abraham walked away, not out of anger, not out of pride, but out of loyalty to God. And in this painful moment, Abraham revealed what righteousness truly means, choosing God over any relationship that pulls you away from righteousness and good conduct. His life teaches us that the people closest to us can influence us the most. And sometimes righteousness requires distance, courage, and clarity to protect your soul. Abraham's example is more relevant today than ever, because the culture war is not just political, it is not just social, it is not just ideological. The culture war is a war over righteousness. We live in a world where society expects you to support someone simply because they are family, they share your religion, they look like you, they vote like you, they belong to your group. But God did not build righteousness on tribes, people did. Abraham's faith tore down the tribal divisions of the ancient world, and today those divisions have returned, stronger than ever. People now defend the wrongdoer within their group and reject the righteous person in another group, not because of righteousness, but because of tribal loyalty. This is the heart of the culture war, people choosing tribe over God and righteousness. Imagine a world where good people refuse to help others because they belong to another religion, race, or political party. Wrongdoers are protected simply because they belong to our side. Righteousness becomes secondary to loyalty. Justice becomes a stranger. This is the world we live in now. Humanity has lost its understanding of righteousness, the source of justice God gave to Abraham to unite the nations. Today, political parties behave like tribes. Religious communities behave like tribes. Even families behave like tribes. And righteousness and justice have been buried beneath a mountain of excuses. A religion that protects its wrongdoers is not a religion. It is a tribe pretending to be one. A political party that excuses corruption is not guided by righteousness. It is guided by loyalty. A believer who placed their group above righteousness is not following Abraham. They are following their tribe. Look at the world today. A Democrat excuses wrongdoing in the Democratic Party. A Republican excuses wrongdoing in the Republican Party. One race excuses wrongdoing among its members while condemning the same behavior in another. This is not righteousness. This is tribalism. A righteous Democrat would never defend an unrighteous Democrat against a righteous Republican. A righteous Republican would never defend an unrighteous Republican against a righteous Democrat. Because righteousness and justice do not belong to a group. They belong to God. Black or white, rich or poor, Christian, Jew, or Muslim. Righteousness is the only identity God accepts. Abraham's life teaches us a simple but difficult lesson. Righteousness is not passive. It is active. It is a choice. It is a sacrifice. Abraham separated from everything that pulled him away from God. He chose righteousness over comfort. He chose justice over tradition. He chose obedience to God over approval. And today, when our world is drowning in conspiracy, division, tribal loyalty, and confusion, the only cure is Abraham's example. When we return to righteousness, when we choose good conduct over group identity, when we unite across tribes in submission to God's will without religious divisions, only then can humanity heal. In conclusion, righteousness is the bridge between all people. It is the only path to unity. It is the only standard God recognized. The world does not need more tribes. It does not need more division. It does not need more excuses. The world needs an Abraham example that anyone can follow. The world needs righteousness. The world needs people who will stand for justice, no matter who stands against them. That is the message Abraham left for us. That is the foundation of all three religions, and that is the key to healing our fractured world. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Beyond the Veil. I hope it gave you something to think about, something that will bring you closer to the truth. Next week, we will continue exploring where faith, culture, and history meets reality. And I'd love for you to be a part of this journey. Make sure you subscribe, share this video with a friend, and leave a comment to let me know what stood out to you. Together, we can bring more light to the world. See you next time.